Elias was a quiet fisherman who lived alone by the sea. He hadn't always been lonely. Life had simply carved pieces out of him, slowly, gently, painfully, until silence became easier than conversation. His wife had died years ago, and since then, the ocean became his companion. Every dawn before the world woke, Elias pushed his small boat into the water and let the waves guide him. The sea did not judge him. The sea understood quiet hearts. One misty morning, everything changed. As Elias drifted far from shore, he heard a voice, a soft, aching melody floating across the water. It sounded like someone was singing their heart out to the horizon, a song full of longing, a song that tugged at something deep inside him. He followed the sound, and there she was, a woman sitting on a rock, her hair shimmering like sea foam, her eyes bright like storms. But she wasn't just a woman. Her tail glimmered beneath the waves, beautiful and unreal. A mermaid. Elias froze, breath caught in his throat. He wondered if he was dreaming, if grief had finally taken his mind. But then she turned, and she smiled at him. Soft,
The ocean.
curious, gentle. That smile melted the years of silence around his heart. Her name was Nerina. From that day, Elias returned to her. Every morning, every moment he could steal. They talked about everything: the stars, the ocean, loneliness, hope, the little things that make life hurt, and the little things that make it beautiful. Nerina laughed at the way humans worried about small things. Elias laughed at how she pronounced certain words like they were notes in a song. Sometimes she reached out of the water to touch his hands, fascinated by their roughness. Sometimes he told stories just to watch her eyes widen, like a child seeing magic. Day by day, Elias felt himself falling. And Nerina, she was falling too. But love between the sea and the land is never simple. One moonlit night, with the waves glowing silver around them, Elias finally whispered the truth he had been hiding. "I love you," he said softly, "but I cannot ask you to leave the ocean." Nerina touched his cheek, her voice trembling. "And I cannot ask you to drown in my world." They held each other, silently, while the tide wrapped around them like a blessing and a goodbye at the same time. But love does not let go easily. Love does not surrender without a fight. Nerina went to the ancient spirits of the sea. She begged them for a chance to walk beside Elias, truly walk. They warned her of the cost. She would lose her tail, lose her immortality, lose her voice. The change would be painful, permanent, irreversible. Nerina didn't hesitate. At dawn, Elias found her lying on the sand, trembling, cold and terrified, now fully human. He dropped to his knees, gathered her in his arms, and held her as though the world might take her away. "You came back to me," he whispered, voice breaking. "I never left," she breathed. Her voice faded after those words, but her love did not. Life was not perfect. Nerina had to learn everything: walking, speaking, surviving on land. Elias had to face the fear of losing someone again, but love made it all softer, better, brighter. She laughed with him. He held her when she struggled. They found their own rhythm, their own quiet happiness. And even though she never sang again, Elias often paused at night, convinced he could still hear a melody in the wind. Every evening, hand in hand, they walked by the shoreline, the same place where a lonely fisherman met a brave mermaid, and where both of them learned that love can cross any distance. Love can change worlds. Love can bring two hearts together, even when one belongs above the water and the other begins beneath it.